Welcome to Truman's Town Hall with your host, Matt Truman.
Hello. Thank you for downloading this podcast. Thank you for sharing with a friend. This is Matt Truman. Today, we have a special guest. Today, Huber Heights City Council member Richard Shaw is joining us for a special exclusive podcast. Mr. Shaw, thank you for doing the podcast. What I would like to let everyone know who's listening is the past few episodes, we have been talking about the Montgomery County Court building located in the city of Huber Heights. There have been many issues and rumors surrounding the court building. Is it going to stay? Is it going to leave? Today, Mr. Shaw would like to give us more information. And in the spirit of transparency, I decided to do this podcast with him. Mr. Shaw, thank you for doing the podcast.
Mr. Truman, thank you for inviting me to do this podcast. Hopefully, over the next several minutes, we'll be able to shed some light on some discussions, put some facts on the table, and open the eyes and ears of the Huber Heights and the regional community on what has been going on.
Okay, so let's start. I was at the Northeast Republican or the Northeast Metro Republican Club meeting when Judge Pierges was there giving us his information about his campaign, and he talked a little bit about the negotiations for the court building. What can you say? You were not at the meeting, but you have done a considerable amount of research toward this topic. What can you talk about with us today?
Well, from what I've been provided, on September 12th, 2019, at Frickers in Huber Heights, Judge James D. Pierges attended a public meeting. And at that meeting, there was several topics discussed, including the Huber Heights court location here in Huber Heights. At that meeting, there was some concerns about negotiation, the stance on it, the possible losing of the court facility to another community. During the comments from Judge Pierges, his comments had stated, "You have the wrong guy negotiating the deal."
Yes.
And again, as you'd stated, I wasn't even at the meeting.
No.
Now, these quotes, there is an audio file of these quotes, and I'm pulling these quotes straight from that audio file. Another quote is, "The county commissioner stated they would like to stay in Huber Heights." In my opinion, that's a big deal. That's stating the county commissioners have had discussion about continuing the partnership with the courts here in Huber Heights. And that information, I think, is very important to hold on to. Additionally, the judge stated he is going to schedule a meeting with the county administrator, his assistant, and some people from the council.
Were you invited to that meeting?
I've had no conversation with Judge Pierges regarding any negotiation regarding the court facility.
Do you know if there's any other council members who have been invited to this meeting?
I do know from a source from September 19th, 2019. This source has told me the two names of the council members who have been working directly with Judge Pierges.
Okay.
As stated further in that comments, Judge Pierges stated several times he was working with council members. At one point in time in the audio, he states, "I was working with councilmen," and then he changes very quickly to say council persons. And that's very concerning to me because I've had no conversation with Judge Pierges. Mike Foley of the Clerk of Courts, I've had no conversation with anybody regarding the negotiation of that building. But to learn that there are council members that are circumventing the process and going outside of city administration to do that is very damaging for our community and the transparent process that we should be taking place.
Okay, so you say through a source, so you don't want to, at this time, reveal who the person is that told you.
That is correct.
And you don't 100% know who the council members are, or do you know 100%?
From the source, I am 100% confident I'd be able to supply a sworn legal affidavit to that conversation.
Do you want to reveal who those folks are? Those council members who...
The source confirmed to me that the two council members were Mark Campbell and Ed Lyons.
Okay. Please.
And what kind of continued from there is after the concerning comments from Judge James D. Pierges on that Thursday evening, contact was made in an attempt to verify those comments. I reached out to the county administrator on September 13th, 2019. That Friday morning, I reached out to Michael Colbert to address those comments. Michael Colbert then called me back at 8:51 a.m. and then advised he would have his deputy administrator, Tyler Small, contact me.
Who is Michael Colbert?
Michael Colbert is the county administrator
Okay.
for Montgomery County.
Okay.
And then Mr. Tyler Small, contacted me at 3:26 p.m. to provide further clarification. So again, in the form of transparency, Matt, I'd like to share with you some of the topics of each one of those phone conversations.
Please.
So at 8:51 a.m., my comments with the county administrator was there was never an option to leave Huber Heights. Those comments came directly from the county administrator. The only discussion from the start with the city of Huber Heights was either a buy or lease option. And again, Matt, those comments were made from the dais on August 20th.
So, according to you, the county never said that they were not willing to buy the property.
That is correct.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, in my phone conversation with Tyler Small at 3:26 p.m. on September 13th, he had stated that the option to buy that property is not off the table.
So the county would still negotiate with our city to purchase the property.
Again, that is my hope. I'm not,
Okay.
as I stated previously, not negotiated with them.
Right.
Just again inquired, fact finding, because of these concerning comments. That information was provided to me on their own free will. Additionally, Michael Colbert had stated the last discussion that he had with our city manager occurred on Monday, September 9th at a manager's roundtable. And even at that point, there was no options provided according to the county administrator.
No options provided from our city?
Our city, yes.
Okay.
Now, Tyler Small at 3:26 p.m. provided me some additional insight. He advised this was the weirdest, and he used that term weirdest. Negotiation he has ever been a part of. And for me, that's very concerning. We have a city manager that is here to negotiate on behalf of council and on behalf of the residents of Huber Heights. And to hear a county official say the words weirdest negotiation should be concerning to everybody.
It is to me.
Additionally, he stated that he's been asking for options to present to the county commissioners. Tyler Small had forwarded me several emails where he has attempted conversation with our city manager to get the information needed to take to the county commissioners. And a lot of those emails had fallen on deaf ears, unfortunately.
So, were you privy to those emails? Or is that something that's in a councilman's position? Are you copied in these emails? Or is this just direct council to manager?
That was
county to manager.
County to manager. That was those emails. Tyler Small had offered to send me those emails, and in the form of transparency, I had him send me those to my city email address, so they can be picked up on any type of public records request, and those are available to be shared.
Okay.
The deputy administrator had stated to me multiple times that any information from that phone call and with the county administrator can be shared with all of council. And I think it's very important that that information was shared with the council and now today be shared with the public. Additionally, Tyler Small had advised that the county has invested over $4 million in the Huber Heights Court building since their tenure. He had stated that the first time he had met with our city manager was at a meeting in March. And at this meeting was the county administrator, Michael Colbert, the deputy administrator, Tyler Small, clerk of court, Mike Foley, and several other individuals. And at this meeting, Tyler Small advised me that Rob Schomer raised his hand and said, "Hi, I'm Rob Schomer, the city manager of Huber Heights. We are not going to continue our lease with you. We are going to charge you Class A office space."
And this was in March.
That was in March. And again, that's very concerning because that initial conversation that Tyler told me about is leading me to believe that this whole thing is revolving around money. And in my opinion, as a councilman, it shouldn't be about the money that we're getting from the county. It's the service to the community of Huber Heights, the region, the communities of Riverside, Vandalia, Butler Township, Ohio State Patrol, to maintain that court facility here. We shouldn't be looking at nickel and diming the county. We should be looking at keeping that asset here and building our relationship with the county. And the county administrator and deputy administrator agree with that statement 120%.
Now, in previous council meetings, and I've shared those on other podcasts, I have heard other council members say something similar to that. Now, I would have to go back and look at the dates on when that was said, but I believe it was something to the effect that we need to charge the market rate. Is that something similar to what you heard?
I would say that falls in line with the comments made by Tyler Small.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that took place on August the 20th.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, having our city manager state that no further negotiation is going to continue with the county until they tell us how long they're going to be here is also concerning. Because again, going all the way back through this research, at no point in time has the county ever stated that they're going to have any intention of leaving Huber Heights. So we already have the answer to that question.
Has council been informed about any of that?
Yes.
That the city manager has told them that he's going to charge that sort of rate. I know it was mentioned on August 20th by another council member that that's what we should do, but is that the official direction from Huber Heights City Council?
I will tell you that that is not my direction.
Okay.
I did not provide that direction to our city manager. I provided direction to negotiate, to provide a option that is beneficial to our region and that secures the court building. I think, again, we've been able to show that with the conversations, the fact-finding, the inquiring with the county individuals, there has been no negotiation. In my opinion, it's been a bullying tactic. When you look at other city managers in the region, Matt, I've had the privilege of working with several of them, such as Quincy Pope and Trotwood. He's done amazing things over there with Mary McDonald, and you don't see anything of that nature going on. Mark Sweeterman down in Kettering has done an amazing job down there, bringing in new jobs, Amazon, negotiating with these large corporations. Just recently, a couple months ago, I had the privilege of bringing in elected officials from all across the country, and those communities were highlighted because of their negotiation skills, and those city managers welcomed me into their community. Unfortunately, our city manager in the city of Huber Heights didn't attend one event.
That's sad.
That's very concerning to me. So, as I stated on the 13th, after my phone conversation with Tyler Small, he had forwarded me